Hi everyone. So today I'm going to do a presentation about article review. The article is reviewed by me. Before I start the presentation, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Graciela and my student number is 181. So here is my presentation. First, the authors of the article are Juha Park and Jaehoon Chun. And for the title of the article is How Does Watching YouTube Fashion Content Impact Perception of Appearance? A phenomenological study of Korean women in Generation Z. Next, for the abstract, the authors state that the study aimed to examine how YouTube influences there and here are Generation Z perception of appearance. From the study, the authors found that Generation Z was greatly influenced by fashion YouTubers and the visual stimuli they provided. The authors were done a research followed by the methodological procedures of George's phenomenology and conducted in-depth interviews of 15 Korean women who were born between 1995 to 2005 and enjoyed watching fashion-related YouTube content. For the references, the authors use current references that are appropriate and relevant to the studies they discuss in the article. And for the example, you can see in here, they are not only interested in appearance management, dieting, and exercising, but also in fashion and shopping to express their identity. By Pastor 2020. And for the title, I already mentioned the title of the article before, but I'm going to tell you again. So the title of the article is How Does Watching YouTube Fashion Content Impact Perception of Appearance? A phenomenological study of Korean women in Generation Z. And next, for the introduction or background, it is clear that the topic which want to be discussed in the study by the authors is about the influence of YouTube on Generation Z with regard to their perception of looks and their appearance management behavior. The study is significant because it expands the author's academic understanding of Generation Z and examines fashion-related YouTube content. Moreover, because of YouTube influences the general lifestyle of consumption behavior of Generation Z, it is expected that the research on the media uses of this generation will contribute to the development of the fashion industry to better target the new generation. And next is the methods. For the methods, in-depth, semi-structured one-on-one interviews based on literature review was conducted by the authors as the research methodology. So for the interview, the authors mentioned that a questionnaire was devised for in-depth interviews based on the literature review, which dealt with the effect of media on the perception of looks and appearance management behavior. And for the interview, participants consisted of 15 Korean women in Generation Z born between 1995 and 2005. And according to what I have read, the subject is the influence of YouTube fashion content on female Generation Z. And the variables are measured well through the interview, which was done by the authors, and the variables are defined appropriate and also relate to the topic of the study. Next is the results. So the data is presented in an appropriate way. The table along with its units and category groups in it are clear and appropriate to the study. The main results that I underline are most participants never or rarely watch TV because they can watch TV programs on YouTube, and they said that they see YouTube as an efficient medium because they can spend their spare time alone, summarize and immediately watch important parts only through their mobile phones, and that information search through YouTube is unlimited in terms of space and time. And second is some Generation Z viewers are subscribed to certain YouTube channels and actively participate in online non-face-to-face communications, including sharing of their opinions and ideas, chatting and commenting. And the third is with regard to the reliability of the information provided by fashion YouTubers. Every participant reported that the fashion YouTubers they watch have internal and external attractions, or that they had purchased fashion goods or followed the appearance management methods introduced by the YouTubers. And the last is the participants' high interest in looks and specific fashion tastes lead to constant and habitual watching of YouTube fashion videos, and this has influenced how they perceive their bodies. And next, for the discussion regarding the results, the authors state 4 points to be discussed in the study. So first is the Generation Z research participants consume a lot of YouTube videos daily. And the second is the replies given by the research participants provided the different ways they view YouTubers, from informants to trustees and influencers. And the third is Generation Z's perception of looks and various media is influenced by YouTube videos. And the last is Generation Z is very curious about the fashion goods introduced by fashion YouTubers and actively use YouTube as a source of appearance management tips. For the conclusion, in my opinion, answered the aims of the study. The authors arranged the conclusion based on the results of the study. However, the authors mentioned that the study has some limitation, and they mentioned that first, it examined only short-term YouTube watching experience between 1 and 2 years. Hence, a follow-up study is needed on what effect long-term YouTube watching has on individual perception of looks and appearance management behavior. And the second, they said that these research findings cannot be generalized because the interviews were conducted with only a limited number of young Korean women who enjoyed watching fashion-related content. And they also said that these results cannot be said that all persons in Generation Z watch YouTube, or that fashion videos only negatively affect Generation Z's perception of appearance, even if their media usage rate is higher than the other generations. Thus, this study is not enough to represent all members of Generation Z. Yeah, for the overall, the study conducted by the authors is interesting because all the discussions in the study are closely related to the current phenomenon. And as a reviewer, I also agree with all the discussions in the study. I agree because my opinion is the same as the authors. And my opinion is Generation Z not only in Korea, but based on my experience, since I also categorize as Generation Z, and what I have seen through daily life and social media, most of Generation Z's appearance and lifestyle are heavily influenced by digital platforms, which have both positive and negative impacts on them. And for the article doesn't have keywords like other articles in general, and this is a drawback that the article has. However, the article is consistent with the topic that the authors have discussed. Yeah, I think this is the end of my presentation, and I hope you enjoy it. And thank you very much.